Hi, welcome to Tea Time. My name is Ashley Addison, and today we're going to cover being an ally and also valuing yourself. And if we have time, we'll cover some other topics. This is an unedited, unscripted series that we do every day, and I've really loved your participation in doing this. So thank you for taking action and writing something in the comments and sharing your story. Like some of the stories that you guys are sharing in there is just moving me so much. And I love that. I love it. It feels so special to me. And it's the fuel that's keeping me making these videos because someone out there is watching and I get to hear from you some lovely stories and I learn a lot. So thank you for participating. Also shout out to some of you, Jane, Yuri, Sean, Joanna or Leanna, Tylen. I just love the fact that you guys are commenting and just being a part of this little community. Oh, Rachel too, for calling that out yesterday. Thank you. So yeah, let's talk about valuing yourself. I wasn't actually planning to talk about this today, but as I sat down to open up the camera and work with this, I started to feel a little bit of anxiety, which is the first time that I felt anxiety in making these videos. And I think what that means to me is it means that this is starting to mean something to me. You know, like on a first date with someone, it doesn't matter as much if they just say, you know what, we're not a good fit. But if you've been dating for a little bit longer, now you're starting to feel a little bit more attached to this person and it would hurt more if you lost them. So it's like I'm dating you guys in terms of like content and sharing and stories. And I'm just getting a little bit emotionally attached to this connection here, which brings up valuing yourself. So when you get a gift, how do you respond to that gift when it comes to you? Do you accept it? Do you embrace it? You say, oh, thanks. And then you kind of move on. Or do you go, oh, well, you know, maybe I'm not really worth it. Or, you know, maybe you shouldn't have spent that much money for me. Or, you know what, you should keep it and save it for someone else. How do you react to that? For me, when someone gives me an actual gift, I say thank you. But when there's a gift that's less transactional, such as you guys showing up and writing comments and making this little beautiful bubble that we have right now, that's so special to me that it's causing me, this is so dumb, it's causing me to feel insecure. And it's causing me to feel insecure because I don't want to break it. I also feel scared that I might mess up and, you know, things start coming up. And this is like the negative self-talk that we can get stuck in, like, oh, I don't want to, and then X, Y, and Z. When is the last time you've said that to yourself? I don't want to be late for I don't want this to happen. I don't want that to happen. This is like a interesting framing that we put in that we've just embedded in the English language and in our culture, where we often focus on don't forget, don't do this thing. And it really, all it does is it focuses our attention on the thing that we're trying not to do. Right? Like, all right, don't be late for the bus. All right, well, what are you thinking right now? Don't think of a pink elephant. What are you thinking of? Right? So it's like, how can we recondition our use of the English language and our use of language within our heads to think more positively about outcomes. Sorry, I don't know where my head's today. So yeah, in valuing oneself, it's sort of like, okay, like what's the positive language that we can use to increase our own confidence in who we are and increase the positive outcomes that we want to happen in the world. Don't be late turns into I want to be on time, or I want to even be early, or not like I hope that this video goes well, more like this video is going to be exactly what it needs to be, right? Thank you for saying that right now, Ashley. That's exactly what I needed. Thank you. So yeah, valuing yourself, positive language, self-reinforcement. What do you use to help boost yourself up, to work through your insecurities, to make yourself feel more valuable, to give yourself more confidence? What do you do? So allyship. This one was suggested by Sean. Thank you, Sean, for suggesting it. Really love having an ally around. I love that you watch our videos in this little trans community and you're not trans. Thank you. You're kind of like a rarity in our group. And I really appreciate you asking this question. So the most important thing, and there's a few things, but the most important thing is doing the work when the other person is not present. This is by far the most powerful thing you can do, because you're able to kind of address any potential conflict so that there is no conflict for when the person's around, I don't know, someone. For example, my parents, my mom and dad, you know, I come out to them as trans, and you know how parents are. Okay, have you come out to your family? What's their reaction, right? Like, there's mostly not a positive reaction. Very rarely have I heard, oh my God, it's just great. We love the fact that you're trans. Please be more trans, right? Like, that doesn't happen to start with. And there's a lot of, you know, but what, are you going to be okay? And I think, like, for me and my parents, they did accept it eventually, but the name change and the gender change, they are older. It takes time for them to kind of move and accept this. My little sister was the little policewoman going around and being like, hey, she uses these pronouns and this is her name. And she kept drilling it into them and retraining their brains so that when I show up, I don't have to correct names. I don't get dead named, which is really important. And they use my correct pronouns. So I just show up and there's no conflict, there's no any trauma, there's no anything. That is an amazing gift to receive from my little sister. Thank you so much, Jackie. Thank you. And that's something that you can do for your friends and anyone that you're allies for in the workplace or just with other friends. Standing up for them or standing up for what they need when they're not there is really going to be the most impactful thing. Telling them that you did it is also totally fine. But, you know, it might also bring up insecurity. So maybe you want to be gentle about that, because, you know, if my sister was saying, well, they're having a really hard time, and she told me that all the time, I might feel a little guilty. Now we're going to do the flip side. That's probably the most important thing. Here's, on the flip side, the most annoying thing that an ally will do. Which is being so sensitive to my gender or my pronouns that it pisses me off. And a great example of this is when I show up to a store where they're queer friendly and I'm, like, I don't know, ordering something, and somewhere along the lines they'll use a gender neutral pronoun on me. Okay, so why is that a problem? Well, first of all, I'm a trans woman, okay? So I'm a woman, she, her, please. And second of all, they're using they, which, if it's not just like a company practice standard they use for everyone, it's really upsetting, because it's basically told me they've identified me as trans, they've identified that I'm not cis, so I've been clocked basically, and now they're not giving me the pronoun that I've worked so hard to achieve. Am I not femme enough? Am I not feminine presenting enough? And you're gonna they, them me? I'm mad at you, but I'm also not mad at you, you know? Because it could be worse, but it's just not right. Let me know what you think in the comments of, like, where an ally has kind of pissed you off too. I'd love to hear these stories. Those would be good, juicy stories, I bet. But I'd also like to hear kind of like, what's the most important thing? Please suggest another topic for tomorrow's episode. Thank you for participating in this little experiment that has turned into a 4-day experiment now, and probably a 5th day. I'd love to hear from you as always. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, interact in the comments, and hit that bell icon so you can get a notification next time I drop a video. I'm Ashley Adamson. This is Tea Time. Thank you for joining me. Bye.